Females Aiding in Mentorship wanted to share a success story from our network for insight to younger women who may want to consider the real estate market as a career. We welcome Amanda Szar to share her experiences in the real estate market. She handles her own social media and negotiated the COVID real estate shutdown. Welcome, Amanda.
Thank you.
What's your experience in the real estate market? What are you currently doing day to day?
So day to day, it just depends. So, I mean, you can go on showings every day. I mean, showings like that pop up. So, because something could go on the market today that one of your clients sees. And so a lot of last minute showings pop up. Like more than anything, I think showings are more last minute than they are scheduled out. And I feel like nationwide like the real estate market, there's such a low inventory of houses that are listed. So when a house does go live, you pretty much need to go that day because they sell so quickly right now.
Wow.
So every day, so you're going on showings, and then the ones that you do put under contract, you're making sure that they're on the timeline to close. Like you're making sure the inspections are scheduled. You're making sure that everything's done that was found in the inspection and negotiating that. Making sure title is clear, working with the title companies, making sure that the appraisal is ordered, that the house appraises. There's a lot that goes into a real estate transaction. There's the title work, there's the lending side, there's the appraisal, there's homeowners insurance. So all of those things everybody has to work together to make it work on the timeline that we set for closing.
You kind of quarterback and coordinate that for everyone?
Yeah, you coordinate it and just, keep your client up to date. Like all of these people will reach out. Well, the appraiser doesn't, but a lot of these people will reach out to your client, but you just have to make sure, you just kind of have to babysit, make sure it's working.
Well, if you don't have a boss, what motivates you to start your day?
For someone who's brand new and starting and you don't have a bunch of clients, or you don't have like people referring you, like past clients referring you, because I was about to say, like, what motivates me is like, I don't even have to really be motivated. I wake up and I've got texts and emails and phone calls from clients already.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got, a whole world going on in my email. So that's motivating enough. Like, I don't just sit on my couch and think, oh, I'll deal with it later. Like, I know I have stuff I have to do or things aren't going to get done. So I don't really need to be motivated. What?
To get that kind of relationship built, how many years do you think it took for you to have that kind of clientele?
I would say over the last 3 years. So after I had my son, I had my license in escrow for 2 years while he was a baby. And then about 3 years ago, I got it out of escrow, and I've been working ever since. So over the last 3 years, I think I've just gotten bigger in real estate. So I would say it does take time, but the longer you're in it, the better it gets, really, because you just get better at it. You're more, you know how to handle situations so much better. You're just better in all aspects, really. But so motivation, it's obviously just making sure everything's working. People are counting on me, so I can't just ignore it.
Do you make lists, or how do you stay organized?
I'm a big to-do list person. Yes, I have to have to-do lists. And I am like a calendar person. So, well, everyone needs to have a calendar, really, especially in this. But I have a physical one. I don't know. I have to have one physically in front of me. So I have my physical calendar, and then to-do lists and stuff. Everyone, I think, is a little bit different. So maybe someone would want a Google Calendar or whatever, but that's what I do. For someone who's starting out to be motivated, you really are going to have to be self-motivating, because we're all commissioned. So that should be self-motivating enough. If you don't
So you take 1099 income for taxes?
Yes.
Okay. How do you manage that? So you have to write a check at the end of the year. Have you always done it like that? Is it hard?
I take between 20 and 30% of each commission, and I put it into a savings account, and I just know that that's my tax money. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the year, I have more than enough to send in. That's what I do. There are some brokerages, I believe, who will help take it out for you. Because I know Berkshire, who I'm with now, does offer it, but I've just been used to doing it myself.
You do it yourself. Could you tell me 3 hard things or obstacles to becoming a listing agent?
Okay, so when you say listing agent, like a realtor can do both sides.
Oh.
So there's like on the list side, you're helping sellers list and sell their house. On the buyer's agent side, you're helping people go out on showings and make offers on houses. But just like as a realtor in general, did you say 3 challenges?
Sure. What are the hardest parts? If I wanted to be an agent, I guess you have to get educated. Is there an obstacle to get a listing agent title, or you have to get hired by a company who believes in you?
I feel like it's really easy to, I mean, once you have your license, I think really any brokerage will probably take you. I guess there's different kinds of brokerages, but most brokerages, or like the basic ones, like if a Coldwell Banker or Remax or something, they'll pretty much all take you. It's a matter of whether you're going to perform or not. They don't care because they're going to get a chunk of your commission anyway. So it's like, I think they're used to people getting licensed and then choosing where they want to go. And it's down the road when you're a little bit more of a seasoned agent that you can get recruited, which is what we were talking about before. Right. But I don't really think it's going to be hard for anybody who gets their license to, be placed with an agency. You pick where you want to go.
Is the hardest part finding clients then, or houses to sell?
Yeah, so I feel like the hardest part is just building, first you have to put yourself out there. So social media is a really great outlet to do that, so that people know that they can come to you for real estate. But yeah, I feel like the number one hardest part is just like a steady stream of clients nonstop, because I feel like, especially in the beginning when I was new, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I have 1 or 2 under contract, and I'd just relax. But the thing is that I've learned, and now it's just like second nature to me, is I put however many under contract. As soon as it's under contract, which it's not the best way to think, but it's kind of the way you have to think if you want to do well, is as soon as they're under contract, like, yes, you have your to-do list with them, like I said, getting them through the timeline to close. As soon as they're under contract, you need to start thinking about who you're going to help next. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't celebrate like, oh, I'm going to have this closing in a month. No, you need to worry about, you have to just keep, going. Like, so I've got, you write and say, write for like 30 to 45 day close. And so say you have 3 closings lined up for next month, but then August 1st hits and you're going to have those closings, but then you have nothing for September. So then you just have to it's pretty much a constant hustle. Okay. And that's why you have to keep, your sphere going, have a CRM with all your past clients in it, and just kind of keep them on like a drip campaign and stay present on like social media, and just try and stay in front of them that way, so that they remember that you're in real estate. And if someone around them wants to, needs to buy or sell, they think of you right away to recommend. Okay. So that would be the hardest, is just continually always having like a stream of clients to sell or to buy. The second would be like money management off of that, I guess, because we are strictly commissioned. So especially in the beginning, if you are not having consistent closings, like that would be difficult, because you're not having like a steady stream of income. So it's hard, because it's like, I feel like if you had a part-time job, you're not giving real estate 100%, but you also have to live. Mm-hmm. So I do know like bartending sometimes can help. Like if it's like nighttime bartending, I would maybe suggest that over like part-time day job, because you're going to need to be free and be working on like your real estate business during the day, and you don't want to be ignoring it for something else.
That's a great suggestion. How do you deal with competition with either other realtors, or who do you deal with competition with?
So sometimes for a listing, like sellers who want to sell their house, you'll go for a listing appointment, and there will be other agents that are also going to go for a listing appointment that basically are interviewing different agents to see who sells, themselves best to them and who they want to pick. And I always just go in, and I feel like because I've done it for so long, I just, whatever I say to them, my whole like listing presentation usually will impress them enough. You have to be a people person. Like the whole real estate is just like psychological as well. Like you have so many different personalities you're dealing with. So you have to kind of be likable, and just, I don't know, people have to like you in general. So I don't know. I would say I've gotten to a point where I'm not really afraid of competition. And if for some reason they pick someone over me, I'm like, I don't like myself get butthurt over it, because I'm like, maybe they would have been a problem client and I wouldn't have liked them anyway. Like,
was it harder
you just have
when
to
you were
go in
starting
confident.
out dealing with the rejection, or it's not even rejection, it's just preference? Now you see no problem with it. I was afraid to get into real estate to not deal with rejection constantly, but that's more for starting out.
It's more for starting out, because I have enough people now who like me that it doesn't hurt my feelings. Like, and not like every person, like every agent is not for every seller, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. Just like, not everybody is someone's cup of tea. Like I might not be someone's cup of tea, but I'll be this person's cup of tea. Like, so you can't let that kind of thing bother you. I just go in, and you have to go in confident. You have to go in knowing what you're talking about. So to girls who maybe, want to start in real estate, I would say shadow a really good agent, or get on a team at first. Like I feel like a real estate team, if they could find one, would be the best way to try it out, so that you're learning off of other people who have experience in the business, and you're not just like going in blind.
What kind of expenses do you have month to month for your business? Do you have to pay a realting office for office space, or?
There's, different brokerages charge different things. And depending on, like when I was recruited by Berkshire, I think they offered, I don't pay anything to be there. Okay. I don't even think I pay for my printing. Like sometimes they'll charge you to print there. I personally don't. But so they might charge you like 10 cents per whatever, like if you're printing however many pages. I think I pay like $17 a month for my Bluetooth key to open lock boxes. I think my MLS fee is like $125 quarterly. I pay like $500 yearly in January to the National Association of Realtors. I have these all on like auto pay, and I don't even know what but I mean, gas is a big one because I'm driving around constantly. Mm-hmm. But you can write gas off. So when I get my taxes done, or do my taxes, I write so many miles and all my gas off, and that really makes you owe a lot less. So up front, you'll be paying a lot in gas, but it pays off in your taxes.
Okay. To just wrap it up, what do you do for meals? And do you have any budgeting tips, or just tips for young girls going out of college, teenagers, just trying to get their lives together?
Well, in real estate, I feel like I eat in my car nonstop, because there's just you're on the go a lot. So I would say I do this I have a 5-year-old too. So I just have a little thing in our car with granola bars and little things of Pringles, for snacks, in between. Or I can't tell you how many times I end up eating goldfish in the car. Goldfish are a good snack. Have a little thing of snacks in your car, so you're not tempted to go and spend money constantly on, going out to eat. I do occasionally do fast food, if I'm starving in between, but then I feel like you smell like fast food, you don't want to do that. So pack a lunch, maybe if you think about it, pack your lunch budgeting wise and take it to the office if you're working from your office. I work from home most of the time just because I prefer it. I feel like at the office, at least in my case, everybody wants to chat. Older people want to ask me how to work something on their computer, and I'm like, I like to work from home. So usually I'll just eat here, and I'll maybe go out to lunch with a girlfriend, but on the go, it's just nice to have snacks in your car and bottles of water in your car, and pack a lunch if you have to budget and whatnot for that.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks so much for your time today. The Fan Foundation really appreciates your insight into real estate, and have a great summer.
I'm just reading through thank you. I'm just reading through these and making sure I think we did touch on all of them. But wait, there's one that we missed and I wanted to talk about it. The first one, how long have I been in the real estate industry? So in 2008, which if there's like a lot of girls coming out of college, they would have been children, but that's when the market crashed. 2008 was when I got my real estate license in Myrtle Beach, and I worked for the Market Common when it was like brand new. I had the exclusive right to sell with one other agent on them, but then the market crashed, so it didn't really go that well. So I moved home, which is here in the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania area. And because of it, well, first of all, I was a 19-year-old girl, and I will say it's hard to have people just want to take you seriously when you're a 19-year-old girl selling real estate. Like, this is one of the biggest purchases of someone's life. So to have someone that young advising them through it, I'll be honest, I would say if someone's that young, get on a team and get experience that way. Going out on your own, if it works for you, that's great. It's just, I've been through it, and people they just can't take you seriously. I don't know. So what I did after the market crashes, I worked, I was in school, I was doing college online, but I worked as a leasing representative at an apartment complex. So it's still in the real estate field, and I still had to have a real estate license to do that. But it was nice because I got experience dealing with different types of people and having competition against other, apartment complexes, writing leases and doing all of that. After that, I worked for an investor that flipped houses. So I feel like everybody thinks that's awesome. I mean, it was fun. It was good. That was while the market was still kind of getting better. I worked for him. I just basically worked in an office or from home and called people who he subscribed to some site where if people were kind of going into default on their mortgage or whatever, I would call them and he would go out and buy it cash. We would do some flips. We would do some wholesale, which is a whole other thing. I worked for him for 3 years, and then I got my license back to active. This was when I was 25. Back to active, just being a realtor, and I was doing pretty well, just getting back into it. And 25, people want to take me a little bit more seriously. And then I was pregnant with my son, and I worked all through being pregnant, and I had him, I feel like he was 4 or 5 months old when I was because real estate is such a hustle and you have so many hormones going on when you're pregnant and when you have a newborn and just so much work in general, I couldn't handle physically or emotionally real estate and a baby. So I put my license in escrow for 2 years. I did do contract coordinating work through that, just for other agents. I would do their back and forth work. And then after that, I got my license out of escrow, and this is 3 years later. So that's my real estate background.
And has your opinion towards the real estate market changed at all, or the real estate job, since you've been in it?
Yeah, well, it's changed a lot. So the last 3 years, when I was 25, I say it was pretty standard. I would do just as many listings as I would do buyers. But over the last 3 years, we've been in a low inventory market. So I have a lot more buyers than I personally do sellers, because there's just less sellers in general. And for whatever reason, buyers are more attracted to me. Listings are great, but right now where I'm at is I work with a lot more buyers. So, I mean, listings, I do have a couple right now. They all sell overnight basically, because that's just our market. So the market has changed in that we have really low inventory of houses and listings, and there's a lot more buyers. So it makes it challenging. It's very competitive. Buyers have to pretty much go all in on their offers. There's not really negotiating on a sales price. If anything, you're paying over asking price to get on your contract. And so there's the low inventory, and then you add COVID onto that, and it made it even more competitive. But it's been good for me. It's just slightly stressful, but that's real estate. That's kind of what you should expect. Real estate is a stressful business. It's not all glamorous and making your own schedule by any means. It's literally working around the clock for people and answering people nonstop. No matter what time it is, I generally answer, because it's an emotional process for people selling or buying. It's a really big deal. So I don't like to ignore them. I like to acknowledge what they're asking me. Unless it's something ridiculous, I'll wait until like 9 a.m. or in the morning. But it's a lot of work. A lot of people, I think that they're going to get their license, they're going to make their own schedule, and it's going to be like $1 million listing. And it's not like that. There's, I think statistically, at least a couple years ago, statistically, there was an 80% dropout rate in real estate. And that is because it's competitive, it's exhausting, and it's all commission. But once you get the ball rolling, it can be very rewarding. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Amanda.